Here's where you insert your hook.
Highly attention-grabbing statement.
Welcome to Romance and Rosé, where we exclusively read romance and hardly ever drink rosé. For the YouTube fam who maybe doesn't know this gorgeous face, this is Mr. Rosé, love of my life. We have Buddy read, Buddy listened to many books in the past.
Many books?
But it's been a while. It's been like, I would say maybe 6 months.
I know, crazy.
Since the last book we listened to together. And there was this one that I thought would be very interesting.
She came to me with this concept, and I was like, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Locked In by Caitlin Taylor.
Season 1.
Season 1, baby.
And boy, do we have thoughts.
Yes. So we basically binged it in like 2 sittings. Yeah. It flew by fast.
It did.
The premise is basically like a reality dating show. This girl's sister is unwell. Parents are dead.
Unwell.
Yeah, so she's been taking care of her sister for a long time. She needs money. Medical bills are piling up. So when she sees an advertisement for this new reality show called Locked In, promising a $5 million cash prize, she says, could be good. Her little sister
she's
signs
like,
her
I'll
up.
think about doing it. And then her sister's like, and then she gets the acceptance letter and she's like, I'll do it.
Okay, I'll do it. She goes there and it's kind of Love Island-y. You spend some time mingling with the other contestants before you have to decide which other contestant you want to lock in with for the remainder of the season. But the story does have a little bit of a dark twist because what the contestants are unaware of is that once you lock in with a partner and they start competing in these challenges together, the contestants who lose the challenge don't make it off the island.
They do not. Which brings us to kind of the good and bad part. Not really bad, but it's just our thoughts. So I feel like the story started out really strong. I feel like Caitlin Taylor really nailed it with like the Love Island vibes and like the reality like star kind of being interrupted in awkward moments with the camera crew and just like stuff like that.
The classic phrases like, can I talk to you for a sec?
Yeah, the classic
like, can I pull you aside? Are you here for the right reasons?
And I was hooked pretty much instantly for the book. It was really good. It started out strong. The part that I started having issues with is I felt like it took too long for the story to get to the hook. Like I kept waiting for more hints to be dropped about something sinister happening on this island. But it felt like almost 2 different books that were put together. Like we have the romance portion of the story and then we had like the action portion of the story. The romance portion of the story was awesome. I feel like the action part was a little rushed at the end.
I want to preface that overall I enjoyed the story and it did reveal at the end that there will be a Locked In season 2 book that I liked this book enough to read book 2. But again, I do feel like because I knew that there was this looming plot device of them eventually killing off characters on the show, I kept waiting to see when that surprise would be sprung on these contestants. And I felt like too much of the story happened before they started revealing those darker themes. And I almost wanted more of that twisted behavior sooner in the show, because the first 2 or 3 couples that got voted off just kind of disappeared and they thought that was normal. They got sent home, they flew home. And it wasn't until there were like 4 couples left that a body was discovered. And then it felt like the producers from there were just like, I guess we'll just start killing contestants on camera. I would have loved to have had that beginning moment of these characters thinking they're on a normal reality TV show, locking in with their partners, and then the very first challenge maybe ends with a death, and then it becomes very clear that they're trapped in this Hunger Games like reality TV. Yeah, so it felt like too much of a normal dating show for like 70% of the book.
Exactly. And like I said, that normal part of the book was great.
It was good,
really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could have listened to a whole book just of that, and I would have been totally happy. But I feel
we do love reality TV dating shows. We'd like Love is Blind, The Bachelor. you had mentioned this when we were listening. There were things that were brought up and mentioned that felt like maybe hints at something that was going to be important later.
Oh, yes.
That were just never
the
brought
contract. They were drugged and taken to the island, and it was revealed they had signed contracts, but they were not really the real contracts. They had to sign a new set of contracts. And then the MC, she was like, oh, I'm uncomfortable with this. And everybody was like, sign it, just do it. Just do it. You don't need to read it. And she's like, okay, whatever. Can I get a copy of it? And they're like, we'll send it to your room later. And she's like, okay. And then she signs it. And in my mind, I kept waiting for this contract to show up and for them to read it and
for her to reveal.
Yeah, to be like, you agree to like die on this reality show if you don't make it. But that never happened.
It's like during the last challenge, they're sort of like dropped in the forest with very little supplies and like booby traps throughout the island.
Yep.
And they have to find a key that opens the chest to their freedom. And it's down to 2 couples. They go off track before they find their key to find a part on the map that says there's like weapons in.
Yeah.
So they go, and she's like, why should we carry all these? And he's like, just in case. And you think, okay, this is going to be this detour that they took because they're going to need these weapons to win the game at the end. But then the end kind of happened with like a tussle that killed off the last 2 characters. So then they were the last ones standing, and the weapons didn't even really
there was
play
like
a part.
One little thing with the weapons, but the whole like side quest to get the weapons wasn't like important. Like other couple, they used a weapon once.
We listened to this at like 1.75, and I kept being like, there's 50 minutes left. How are they going to wrap this up? There's 20 minutes left. There's 14 minutes left. Like, how are they possibly, they're still in the game. Like, how are they going to win? Show like how they wrapped things up, where they are after. And so I kept thinking, is it going to be a cliffhanger? He said if it was
a cliffhanger and if they did not wrap up this story at the very end with 2 contestants winning, I would have given it like a 1 star because that is ultra unsatisfying. Here's what I think. I think that Caitlin Taylor is obviously very good. She's really good at writing. Like, I was hooked. I was really invested. All the characters, awesome. Like, distinct, they have great, personalities. They were all interesting to listen and read about. I think, and I don't know anything about her, so this is a snap judgment just based on this story. She's really good at romance, but maybe not so used to writing action or adventure. And I could kind of tell because it felt sort of unsatisfying the last, I would say, 3/4 of the book. It feels like she spent a lot of time thinking and maybe planning about the first portion of the book. And that's why it felt so good, so awesome. But maybe she rushed through the last part of the book. And it might not even be her fault. It could be deadline. It could be a number of other reasons. But a lot more time should have been spent on the last book.
The last half
of the last half of the book, yeah.
I agree. As soon as it was revealed that they were killing contestants, there was so much meat that I felt was there to be explored. That I felt like was just kind of brushed over. And I kept being like, wait, that thing back there, like I wanted to know more about that. And that's why I'm really excited for a book 2. I'm glad that she's planning another one because, new batch of contestants, new scenarios. Since that was season 1 and clearly the producers were testing the waters with running a show like this, if they'll maybe get to the more sinister meat of the show earlier on.
I'm hoping to see a little bit more like world building, maybe more backstory of this corporation or this company. Like who's watching the show? Because at the very end, obviously, Lily, the sister, had not seen the show.
No, and it was made very clear while they were filming that like, oh, by the way, people are loving it. They're voting for you, and it's like, who?
Is it like random millionaires? Or like, there's definitely questions. I would rate this book a 4 out of 5, and it would have been a 5 out of 5. I think if more of that ending would have been explored. Like
I genuinely feel like it could have done with an extra like 70 to 100 pages of like backstory and like info.
And I'm really excited for book 2. I think that it's an opportunity to really explore more of this world, more of what's going on. New characters, obviously. It's an awesome concept, really good idea.
I loved the like bait and switch with the male leads.
Oh yeah,
in the beginning.
That was...
We get 2 POVs. and you think, oh, okay, this is the female lead and the male lead, but then something happens, and I'll leave that kind of for you to discover.
I feel like that was masterfully done. Like I said, she seems like she's really good at writing.
I know.
Romance.
I was
really
like,
good at writing
oh
romance.
man, the twist. There has been a rise in this sort of dark rom-com like subgenre of romance.
This book wasn't even funny though.
This was different because it was like, it wasn't really a comedy. Yeah. But there was this level of like it not being serious, especially because when the contestants realize what this really is, it's obviously becomes very serious, life or death for them, but the show is still shot and performed by the producer and the host in a very silly game show type way. Almost like the Hunger Games and like Caesar Flickerman, how everything is very light and theatrical and like campy, even though people are aware that they could die any minute. This book in particular felt like a very fun and unique idea. When I heard about it, I was very excited and intrigued because most of the time when you read as much romance as you know I do and some other people do out there, you come across your favorite tropes, your favorite subgenres, and you almost feel like you read it all and you're just reading different renditions of things that have been done before. And you like that. That's fine. But
it's comfortable.
It's exciting when you come across someone putting something out there that feels very original. Absolutely would recommend. Yes. For sure. Was it perfect? No. But exciting. We're excited to see where the series goes.
Pulled me through the whole way. Really good.
No, for sure.
And I think you will love it too.
The Romance and Rosé stamp of approval. Yes. When we've listened to audiobooks together in the past, we'll usually like put up a quick review on TikTok or Instagram, but I do feel like when we finish Buddy listening to books, we have a lot to say.
We got opinions.
Yeah, we do. And so we'll probably transition to this being like an every once in a while sub-series here on YouTube. If you're part of the YouTube gang, you won't miss on Rosé reviews. Well, thank you so much for watching and happy reading.
Happy reading.